So hello everyone, my name is Klil. You got invitations for me. I'm the head of the Learning Table community, which is a L&D, HR enablement, people development community. As you can see, a global one with incredible professionals from all across the globe. I think we have here like Europe and we have US and we have even South America, and this is very cool. A lot of the people here are part of the community that I had the pleasure to actually meet in person. And another thing that we do is doing online meaningful sessions like these. Um, I'm going to take 3 minutes of your time before we jump to the first speaker to kind of introduce the sponsor of the community in this event, Juno Journey, and why we do what we do here. And then we're going to jump to the first speaker. So I will also say I had to mute everyone because it's a big group and we might not have time for a lot of the questions for the speakers. So please use the QA area to write any question you have for our speakers. You can even guide them to a specific speaker if you want. And then anything we won't have time for today, I promise we'll do our best to to have our speakers write their answers and then share this Q&A doc with everyone with the recording. So don't hold back anything you want to ask. If you really want to know, like, I'll make sure you get your answers. You can start presentation. You can. That's wrong. Okay. Okay. So, Juno Journey in a nutshell, I promise no more than 3 minutes, advancing employee journeys with AI agents. We all understand and see how the world is changing. There's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of just changes organizations go through. And every professional I met is really feeling like we're in the center of that change. The organization is really looking up to us to really lead the way. That means a lot of strategic work, a lot of impact that we simply really don't have time for. Because a lot of what we still need to do today is that heavy lifting, that I need something, please do this, do that. And then we don't really have time to really do the meaningful work that we're set up to do. We do more operations than impact. And that's really the main focus for us at Juno Journey. So we're very proud to serve hundreds of leading companies through our two core solutions, the Agent First LMS and our goal-driven development platform that are really designed to turn business needs into skills. I'm really excited because a lot of our customers are also here, and this is such an incredible moment. We do that with a team of L&D agents. Not surprisingly, their names start with a J, giving professionals the space to really focus on strategy and impact while we take care of the heavy operational lift. Our team builds courses and training programs, check knowledge, unlocks hidden expertise, and really connecting employees' goals through their personal development plans. And if it's okay, it's really going to take less than a minute and a half. I want to briefly kind of give you a sneak peek into what we do. Because just like this session is really about the future of learning, that's exactly what we really thrive to build for our customers, the futuristic way to really bring L&D and AI agents together. So a sneak peek into how that looks for us anyway. This is an example for Jaden that's really here to use all of his sub-agents that are specializing in different subjects like compliance and onboarding and enablement, and basically turn every knowledge owner into a professional trainer, taking instructions, content, anything you have, and just really building beautiful trainings, including video editing, creating images, agents that check knowledge and understanding, a full automation center, everything in a click of a button. And all of that with the context of your organization. So that's my favorite one. And one more cool agent that I want to share with you is Gemma. And I think one of the things we realized is that learning is really not meaningful enough when it's not connected to goals. So Gemma is basically a personal agent that takes individuals' goals and basically turns them very quickly into an actionable development plan connected to the business needs, goals, and aspirations and guidance giving a very detailed action item, a development plan with content to support it, and even finding the relevant mentors in the organization to really give each individual what they need. So that was a very brief look into how we're building the future, and this is just the beginning. And now to get to the creme de la creme of what we're doing here, we brought together 8 future lovers, professional leaders from basically doing whatever all of you are doing every day, and asked them to give their point of view into what they predict learning will look like in the coming year. We're super proud to have this amazing group of people. We're going to start with Eric, then move on to Ari, Hannah, Ofer, Dor, George, Melinda, and Matt. I'll introduce each one of them. You don't have to remember their names. And I think we're ready to start with our first speaker. I'm going to stop share so he can share his screen. And if it's okay, I just want to introduce him very briefly. So we're going to start with Eric Grant. Eric is a learning product support lead at Figma, where he basically leverages data science and analytics to build personalized learning solutions that deliver really measurable business impact. He has proven track record from driving 20x annualized ROI through skill-based training at Coinbase to creating really leadership programs for over 900 managers at the trade desk. Eric really has transformed L&D from perception-based metrics to hard performance outcomes, like resolution rates and cost saving. I had the pleasure to learn from him multiple times before, and I'm very excited to do that again right now. So Eric, take it away. I'm starting the time for you. You need to unmute yourself though. Yes, can you? It won't let me. Okay, sorry. Why? You spoke before, right? We heard you. We all heard you speak before. One sec, please, everyone. I'm really sorry. Very strange. Okay, I'm just going to allow people to unmute themselves, and then please don't just unmute yourself in the middle. Eric, can you do it now?
Yeah, does that work?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, all good. Thanks, Khalil. Okay, so thank you, Khalil. Hey, everyone, I'm Eric. I'll try to move fast here so we can get to all the amazing other speakers and amazing people I see in here. So my talk for 2026, my prediction is going to be that L&D teams have access to more data than we've ever had before. And how imperative it is that we do the measurement with this data the right way for what we're trying to do in L&D. So let's start here. The newest, most influential learning company right now isn't a learning company at all. This is a company called Windmill, and it's a small startup based around the corner from me in New York City. You probably haven't heard of them, but you've probably heard of these companies. I'd assume everybody's working in and around what these companies are putting out these days. These companies, along with companies like Windmill, and I'll get back to that, are going to change learning and what we do in L&D teams in a dramatic way. Because what these companies are going to do, in my opinion, in 2026 is start to give managers, leaders, C-suite executives the most data they've ever seen before about how their employees are working and working together. They're going to start answering questions of how teams and functions and leaders actually behave within an organization. Because I think 2026 is the year where workplace DNA is going to start to be mapped completely for the first time. That data is going to be at the company level, the org level, individual levels, and leaders are starting to are going to start to ask what they want to do with the data they're getting about this DNA, right? That's going to be like, do I like how my teams are working? Do I like how many meetings my teams are in, right? I'm going to get to some of that data. Inevitably, they're going to want to change some of these things immediately in the future, right? They're going to see the changes they want to make, and it's going to be up to us as L&D teams to be the teams that create this change. Talk a little bit more about this. So going back to Windmill, this is a screenshot from their website. If you see a tool in here that you use, read what kind of data they're able to get from these tools. With simple APIs, they can extract this data, and now with AI, transform that into complete insights about people that are using all of these different tools in their day-to-day, how they're using them together, when they're using them, how they're using them with peers, et cetera, right? So we can transform that data for the first time into insights. You could take things from Google Suite, Microsoft Office, Salesforce, which owns Slack, and start to connect this and see this broadly against how we're doing these things, right? So these companies have access to data about when you chat with your coworkers, when you sell, what you're doing, right? Microsoft and Google power pretty much everybody's entire workforce at this point. They're getting enormous amounts of data about the way we work. Things like how many hours we spend in meetings and who those meetings are with, how many Slack messages you send, the length of those Slack messages, whether you use emojis in those Slack messages, the tone of your voice, right? They can tell you how many edits to Notion pages, updates to Figma files, how often you're using those expensive AI tools they're paying for, right? That data is collectible now and can be turned quickly into insights across different teams, functions, et cetera, right? Those are mostly just quantity things, right? Then you look at AI insights into things like tone, how often we're giving feedback, the warmth of that feedback, the constructiveness, the directness of that feedback, right? Think about this from a learning standpoint, right? What this is going to mean. We're going to start to get maps that look like this about project managers or product managers, people partners, how different people behave, what they're supposed to do, right? This is going to change the approach for L&D teams dramatically, I think. This is the future we have to get ready for. What I've called, and a couple other people have seen me talk lately, I've called this where L&D teams are these sort of CRISPR agents. Anyone that knows what CRISPR is, selective editing of DNA, of that kind of genome, right? Not the entire genome, just little bits and pieces, right? So we can think about learning and development teams doing this with behavior change. When we talk about how we want to give feedback, how we communicate, how we read and comment on docs, how we organize days, these are the sort of micro changes that we want to make within a workplace DNA. But there's two crucial things to kind of think about this for the future, right? We're going to want to do this, uh, for our companies, right? But I think one important thing is it's going to be contextualized. What that workplace DNA is going to give you is here's how we work at company A, here's how we work at company B, your old company, your new company. We're not just going to change that DNA just to be more efficient. We're going to change it to fit the context of where leaders want us to go, and we're going to have the measurement to know whether we're actually going there or not, right? And so you think about like something like feedback training. We're pretty much giving the same feedback training whatever company we go to. Here's how to use the grow model. Here's how to do this. We just say giving feedback, right? That's going to change. That's going to start to get contextualized to giving feedback specifically at this company. This is the way we give feedback here. It's different than the way you've given it before. And again, that's not going to be aspirational or ethereal or like a company kind of value. That's going to be real mapped data of how this company behaves and the where we want based off of a executive or where we want to get to, right? And so we're going to start to contextualize this stuff very much instead of doing generic or generalized skills training. And then the second thing, maybe the most important thing, right, is we have to measure and change its impact. We're going to have the current state, we're going to have where we want to get to. The measurement to be able to show that is going to be crucial. I think this is crucial and almost existential for learning teams where L&D teams need to be able to show that we are capable of being the drivers of this measurable and mapped change, right? We need to show that we can make that change in the workplace DNA that's being mapped by companies like Windmill or Salesforce, Google, Microsoft, and blended together. It's going to be really important. If we don't show that, if we can't show that, right, I think we risk losing our foothold in organizations because if we can't be strategic levers of behavior change, I don't know where the place for us is when we start to get this level of granular data of how we behave and how we need to move things. So for
Eric,
2026,
last 30 seconds.
okay. All right. I'm on the last slide. All good. I'm leaving you with a kind of vision of the future here, right? I think people see this mapping of data as big brothery, and maybe it is, but I don't think we have any choice. I really see it as an opportunity. I see it as maybe the last big opportunity for L&D teams to be drivers of change. And all those times you've said, man, I wish we had the data to measure the training programs we're putting in. Those days are done. We are going to have that data. All the unstructured data of the way that we behave at work that we couldn't measure before is going to start to get codified into a DNA, and you will be able to map your changes and measure your changes. And that is the biggest opportunity I think we have, and one I really don't want us to squander. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, King Eric. I already see a lot of people wanting a full session just on this, so keep an eye on your calendar for that. And with that, we're jumping to our next speaker. Yes, he does deserve a round of applause. And that will be, sorry, I have so many And that will be Ari. So, Ari Paskov, a senior HR business partner and learning experience lead at Cognitive. As the company's first L&D hire, he's building comprehensive manager training curricula and professional development programs to drive high-performance cultures across the organization. Ari has over a decade of expertise in strategic HR, training professionals from over 100 different companies. We're very excited for your point of view. I'm going to share it from my screen, and then we'll be good to go. My screen disappeared again. Very sorry. What is going on? I don't know what happened to the screen. Maybe I closed it. Ari, do you happen to have it on you just so I don't waste time looking for
Yeah,
it?
no
Yeah. Okay.
worries.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, all good. All right. Well, thank you, Cleo, for having me and facing my biggest fear of following Eric in an L&D talk. Always a tall ask, but happy to be here with everyone today. As Cleo said, my name's Ari. I'm the senior HRBP of Learning and Experience here at Cognitive, which is a deep learning ad tech company. And when I think about where learning is going in 2026 and beyond, I find myself thinking, as I'm sure many of you do, about Michael Jackson and about Mulan. Michael Jackson asked, we have to, or said, we have to start with the man in the mirror. And Mulan said, when is my reflection going to show who I am inside? I'm not going to sing either of those songs for you because I'd like you to stay for the rest of this. But the message is the same. You don't level up until you look inward. So that's from the pop culture world. But just to bring this into the working world for a moment, preparing for this talk, I came across this quote from Paul Gunn Jr. That reflection isn't to be mistaken for slowing down one's ambition, but rather sharpening it. It is a call to the modern leader that there is power in reflective stillness to bring equilibrium back to companies and turn chaos into choreography. And I think that this skill of metacognition and reflection is obviously always important. I'm sure many of you already do this, but I think really cultivating this mindset is going to be one of those key differentiators between fast learning and successful learning companies and slow ones. And this was actually just illustrated to me a couple of weeks ago. I was leading a manager training program. One of the things that we have here is this 5-month leadership program. And then after they kind of graduate from that, we put them in these deepener or refresher sessions, which is much more kind of facilitated discussion just to make sure the learning sticks and to have some cross-functional learning as well. So our most recent cohort was going through a deepener session, and typically I start these sessions off with a framework that I might have stolen from one of you on this call. I don't remember where I got it from, but it's called Wins, Wobbles, and Wonderings. So basically, on this topic, since we last talked about it, what's been a win here, what has been a wobble, maybe a missed opportunity or a challenge, and what are you still thinking about as it relates to this? And then based on that initial conversation, we kind of take the discussion wherever there are trends or pain points. So at the end of this particular conversation, one of the managers came up to me and basically said, to be transparent, I didn't want to come today. I have a lot going on. I don't really see myself, rosebud thorns, and exactly, right. I had a lot going on, didn't really think this was going to be valuable. But just having this time to pause and reflect actually gave me some ideas for how I want to structure my performance review conversations coming up. Right? So that comment caused me to reflect for a moment and think about the power of reflection that this had for this particular manager. Right. So if we play out kind of the ripple effects of this for a moment, this particular manager has 4 direct reports. So hopefully that's now 4 performance review conversations that are going to be handled better. Right now, I'm sure everyone on this call has an opinion on performance review systems in general. We could debate that all day. But the intent, hopefully, is that when performance reviews are going well, it's a time to reflect on the past period and time to gain clarity and purpose until the next performance review, which at Cognitive we do every 6 months. All right, so this might be a little bit grandiose here, but if you take that 1 hour reflection and you think about the fact that that had the potential to give 4 people a better performance review experience where wins are more properly celebrated, feedback's more effectively shared, learnings are more deeply explored, we have sharper clarity and direction for the next 6 months, I consider that ROI pretty significant. Right, this is what I call one of those wins all around because the manager is now better equipped to have this conversation. The employee can make a stronger impact in the organization and their career. And the company now has a whole team that is engaged, focused, and pointed in the right direction, right? So win, win, win. So the good news is that you don't need an hour training to do this for yourself and for your teams. You can probably do this in a minute or less, and I'd like to prove that to you right now. All right, so I'm going to set a timer for 20 seconds. What I'd like you to do, just a thinking exercise, I want you to think of a win you had in the last couple of weeks, however you define win. All right, I'm actually going to set a timer on my phone just to show you I'm not lying here. 20 seconds, a win you had from the last couple of weeks, however you define that. All right, Cleo, can you click forward on the slide? Oh, no, it's me. Just kidding. I'm sharing. Haha. There we go. Okay. All right. Now, what I'd like you to do, again, 20 seconds here, is I want you to think about a learning or insight from that win. Maybe something you learned about yourself, about this process, about the challenge, whatever it might be. 20 seconds again. Okay, last 20-second part of this. If you were to distill that learning down to one sentence, right, what I want you to do is type it into the chat, but don't hit send yet. Right, just type it into the chat box. If you were to distill that learning down to one sentence, what would it be? I'll give you 15 seconds for this one.
And Ari,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a timestamp as well. You have about 40 more seconds.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now hit send. There we go. Look at that. Be persistent. Ask forgiveness, not permission. Stay focused. Love it. Right. So this is that simple. And this is where I believe that learning and development has a unique value prop next year and beyond. You're going to hear a lot about great tools and AI and all of that stuff. But one of the things that can't do for us yet is it can't make meaning for us. Right? It can't force us to learn, to grow, to change. That's really the human side of work. And that's where I think people on this call are going to come in because we can have whatever tools and resources we want. But if we don't teach people how to learn and how to reflect, it's not going to matter what is in our company tech stack. Sacrificing reflection to me is probably the biggest miss of all. I think reflection is the best and quite frankly the cheapest performance enhancing drug that we have. So I highly recommend you get addicted to it. I don't think it's a luxury anymore. So just to bring this back to why we're all here today, I believe next year and beyond we need to channel that inner Mulan, that inner Michael Jackson, build reflection into our personal habits, our team rituals, our org-wide practices, so that we give ourselves a chance to keep pace with and make sense of the world around us. So thank you so much for having me. That's my time.
That was awesome. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. I want to just remind everyone, especially if you weren't here before, that please use the QA area as well if you want to put your questions for speakers, and then we'll have them all kind of answer them. So please, anything that comes to mind for you, use it. We're going to move on to dear Hannah, the founder of Leaders, if that's how you say it, consulting. She's a leadership development expert, passionate about empowering first-time managers who basically oversee 70% of the workforce to succeed in their overlooked transformation. With deep experience building HR functions at high-growth startups, she really offers a practical workshops, one-on-one coaching, and tailored new manager programs that drive culture, performance, and retention. And I'm going to share your presentation now.
Awesome, thank you.
And
Good
you
morning, good evening, everybody.
take it away.
Thank you for the intro. And thanks for the speakers, Ari and Eric. That was really amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm here to talk today about leadership development and AI, if they can merge. And I think we can all agree that they can merge. And what I'm trying to say in my 5 minutes is just that in 2026, we will see even more than that. And just bear with me, try to think about the traditional leadership development efforts that you all have in your companies and organizations. Probably they most likely look like we run a workshop, a boot camp, offsites, you name it, right? We collect feedback, we have fun, we play golf, we have dinner, we build trust, we build relationship. Amazing, right? But what happens for the managers in terms of the learning moments? How much learning, they can grasp in those 1, 2, 3 days of workshops? And I think the reality hit us in our face now that challenges raise daily. You can see it. Feedback moments pass really quickly. And what I'm trying to say is that leadership doesn't wait, and we can all agree for that. And challenges doesn't pause or wait until the next scheduled one-on-one you have with your HR business partner or with your manager. And we all know as professionals that we don't have enough bandwidth, budget, intention sometimes to support our managers, although we really, really want to, especially first-time managers, by the way. And I think that the reality says that the biggest leadership breakthrough happens in between programs. And I really love the in between, the in between phrase. It's when the time when the managers really need support, but they don't have it. I don't know if you can relate to that. I can see it. I'm an HR director myself, and I can see it daily basis. We teach something in the leadership programs, but then again, on a daily basis, they have dilemmas, they have situations they don't know how to deal with. And that's where the real learning needs to happen. Clearly, if you can go through the next one, please. Thank you. So just have in mind the in-between sessions, the in-between space. I think that's where AI and leadership development is kind of merging. And in 2026, we will see more of those, more platforms, more support, even internally, that really create personalized support to managers trying to aim for the specific challenges that they have at the same moment. Very, very real time, very integrated into day to day. We can all see already platforms that support performance evaluation processes, for example, using AI, right? I know for my managers, I really encourage them to ask AI, okay, what is my current challenges at this moment? What can I do? And I think we can definitely see it. I myself developed a platform that is really based for first-time managers. And I think we will see the personalization, and Eric talked about contextualization. So it's all merged together also in the leadership development space. Although, a lot of HRs are still thinking, okay, can we do that? And what I'm trying to say is that, yes, we can. It's gradual change, but we can do it. And I want to challenge you now just to think about what is your main challenge as a manager? If you are managing, you can manage people, but you can also manage spaces in the organization. Try to think of what your number one challenge currently, and really try to ask AI, no matter which platform you are using, what one small step you can do today in order to become better leader, become better manager. And if you ask AI to build you even a journey for the upcoming year, to have only one moment a week, so it will take you 10 minutes a week, 10 minutes to act, you will have 53 moves per year just to become a better leader. So you can definitely do it with AI, obviously. And just to sum up, leadership development and AI definitely merge together. We will see more personalized, more real-time, more integrated solutions out there. And thank you for the time.
You were right on time. That's amazing. Great job. Okay, perfect. Again, just a reminder, we have the QA area. So anything that comes to mind for you guys, please don't hesitate to leave and really challenge our speakers with your questions. We're going to move on to our speaker number 4. This is crazy, right? Ofer. So Ofer Kenning is a strategic technology leader specializing in driving business impact through AI solutions and learning platforms. He's currently leading AI education and learning technology initiatives at AppsFlyer. He has successfully deployed generative AI tools, integrated LXP and LMS platforms, and fostered AI adoption across go-to-market, product, and R&D teams. He's gonna show us a different angle to his prediction. I'm gonna share my screen now so everyone can
You
see
can
it.
wait with the sharing.
Good.
I will start
Yes.
and I will
Yes,
give
yes,
you the cue, don't worry.
I learned.
So hello everyone and thank you the Juno team, Dor, Cliff, thank you for this amazing event and thank you Cliff for this overwhelming introduction. I will send it to Mom. And surprisingly, I'm also going to talk about something that like everyone is talking about, AI. And I believe that in 2026, more than ever, most CEOs and other company leaders will start asking and demanding where is the impact from all the AI tools and all the efforts and all the training we are investing in the past 3 years. And I believe they will want to see numbers, real efficiency, and real business results if they didn't ask you so far. And I believe that most of this AI shift is actually a behavioral change, okay, which is 100% our domain in L&D. And I believe this is our chance and also our necessity as L&D leaders to take a central seat at the table. But first, let's be honest about two facts. One, we cannot train thousands or hundreds, it doesn't matter how many employees you have in the company, on tools that change every 2 weeks, okay? Now there's a new feature in Gemini or something like this. And number two, not every employee needs the same AI skill. So again, I believe that the main trend, and as you can see also in the screen, is moving from let's train everyone on AI or let's do like multiple training to something we like to call enabling the enablers. So how did we do it in AppsFlyer? And first, we connected with strategic partners who should lead AI in the company. For
Offer,
us,
tell me when you want me to
yeah,
click.
don't worry. I have it.
You're on.
When we connected with strategic partners, for us in AppsFlyer, it was the ops team, sales ops, CS ops, enablement teams, business application, IT teams. We trained them and made them official AI champions. And together with them, we built an AI ops committee that we are meeting every like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And we are handling all the AI adoption in the company. And second, Cliff, now it's your cue. We developed a model that I'm not going to dive deep into that really identify the specific AI skills required by the employees and which type of employees need particular skills that others don't. Okay, and I believe that this created significant focus for us as L&D to create our learning strategy, and it really helped us to speak with leaders after we explained them this model and what we really think they should do inside their business unit. And this led us to our flagship program, which we call the AI Builders Program, which we started this year. And of course, we are going to deep dive also next year. And using the Pareto principle, click next slide, thank you. We decided to find that 20% of employees would create 80% of the impact by building advanced AI solution. And together with the business unit leaders, we handpicked the best candidates. And our goal wasn't just to teach them how to use this tool or the other. Let's learn about Gemini and Gems, our project at Claude and stuff like that. And we taught them how to build an AI mindset. For example, analyze a business process, identify org bottlenecks, and how to design real AI solution like assistant or agents, but really implement them successfully inside their business units because they answer real difficult use cases. And this is the result. Now we are gathering all the 2025 summary, and now we're measuring the most advanced AI solution built inside the company. We found out that 78%, approximately 78% of the impactful solutions come from the exact people we identified and trained them in this specific builders program. And it happened because, okay, we didn't just teach them, as I mentioned, we enabled them to solve real problems for their specific business units. And now, Clint, you can move to my last takeaways. Hopefully, I'm on time. Three takeaways that you need to take with you. One, enable the enablers, okay? Identify the strategic partners who can help you drive real AI adoption in the company. And I believe that this collaboration is a real key to impact. Number two, focus your efforts. Stop trying to train everyone at the same level and for the same skills. Find your 20% of people who will define the company's critical path, who create the biggest measurable impact. And the last one is measure business value. It was always true, okay? And I think it's one of our weakest points in L&D. But now more than ever, you need to ensure you connect the training to real business outcomes, not just completion rates. And I believe that if you will take these three takeaways, I believe it will help you create much, much better impact as L&D leader in your company in 2026. Thank you.
Damn, you guys are on time. That's amazing. And now our next speaker is already on his mic. So it's weird to talk about you this way because you're my boss and everything, but I'll introduce you officially just like I did for everyone else. So Don Nachshoni is the CEO and co-founder of Juno Journey. And Dor's passion is redefining how people grow at work in a world where humans and AI learn and perform side by side. Working alongside hundreds of HR and L&D professionals, he's seen firsthand how organizations struggle to connect performance, skills, and real development, and has dedicated our work to build a human plus AI future where every employee feels supported, more capable, and ready for what's next. And what's next right now is you. Take it away.
What's next? Whoa. I've never got so many compliments from Khalil, you guys.
Please don't get used to it, please.
All right. So, hi, everyone. I'm super excited. I'm going to take, I don't know, maybe a few seconds from my presentation to introduce myself and my prediction for 2026. My name is Dor with one O, right? Otherwise, it could have been very odd. Though tonight I will try to open in the next 5 minutes a door for you to what learning and development will look like at 2026. I'm excited. Let's dive in. Just a sec. Okay. So if you really want to predict 2026, we must look at, honestly, at 2025, right? All the major indicators, Microsoft, Gartner, LinkedIn, Stanford, all tell the same story. 2025 was a year of fear and experiment. People feared losing their jobs, right? And if we think about impact, according to McKinsey, well, this year, companies didn't scale AI. Less than 10% report scaling AI agents. Even without talking about learning and development, which barely adopted it. Employees mostly played with AI, small, low impact tasks and experiments. It was the baby steps year. Curious, messy, hesitant, but not yet transformative if we think about it. And now 2026 is only, I would say, 3 weeks away, and the picture is already clear. We're moving from fear to friendship. Agents aren't a threat. They're basically ET, just trying to help. Minus the glowing finger, you guys. If you haven't watched ET, fix that immediately, do me a favor. So what will be the first half of 2026 look like, right? For L&D professionals. For some of us, I would say AI agents are already taking on the heavy lifting of learning and development teams, right? Not our jobs. They're creating courses, checking employees' knowledge, summarizing reports, giving instant answers, and filling all those operational gaps we used to carry alone. And here's my prediction for early 2026. We will become one, learning and development professionals guiding learning and development agents to deliver real business impact. Now, what about employees? Here's the twist. Until now, we've mostly looked at how AI helps us become more efficient and productive as professionals, right? And my prediction, we're about to see the rise of a new kind of a team, a hybrid team made of humans and AI agents. Every employee will be supported by learning and development agents that understand the business context and help them grow, making them better, more professional, more productive, and I would even say more capable every single day. Just a sec. All right. Now, welcome to the humane era, guys. What should you expect? So traditionally, learning and development has been something we do, I would say, to prepare for or improve a future performance event. But in 2026, learning becomes part of the performance itself, in real time, embedded into the flow of work. If I need to think about it even more, learning no longer belongs behind silos of job titles or static departments. It becomes agile, responsive, and tailored to the short-term immediate goals, not anchored to annual performance review. And I can see the faces right now. Yeah, you're smiling. So instead of irrelevant courses or workshops, employees will engage with bite-sized contextual learning moments that actually happen naturally, right, throughout the day. And enough talking about what I think. During a journey, our belief is simple. Context is a king. The value of AI doesn't come from the agent itself. It comes from how deeply the agent understands the employee, the workflow, the business. And not every agent is built for the enterprise. So the future of learning and development combines, I would say, contextual intelligence, governance, security, real organizational impact, but it's fully embedded in our day-to-day work. Here's just a short snippet, an example of how we imagine it, connected to all of our applications, getting the context that the agents needs, and working alongside humans. So my prediction for 2026 is that AI won't replace learning and development professionals. It will be the year AI unlocks learning and development. And if I may add, well, my prediction is this. Probably the people here are going to lead this transformation. Thank you very much. And don't you forget to watch AET. Thanks.
I think a lot of people are going to see this movie tonight. Perfect. Thank you so much. Really, I'm really proud of all the speakers, really on time. George, are you ready? George Boone, one of my favorite people in the world, and the Director of Organizational Effectiveness and Talent Management at Mitrotech, where he leads global initiatives in employee development, leadership growth, and performance enablement with a passion for advancing company culture and mental well-being. George brings a unique blend of technical expertise to strategic HR leadership. George, my dear, take it away.
Thank you, Khalil. Hi, everybody. Hello from Austin, Texas. Today, I'll be talking about human nature, specifically centered around upskilling your resilience. Before we begin talking about resilience, we have to first navigate the change path and understand the difference between change and transition. Change is constant. How does this statement make you feel? It might give you a little bit of anxiety, and that's natural. Humans hate change. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of books on change management, countless models, adages, and other various words of wisdom that can help you ease into this transition. Change comes up in many different forms. Here's some typical organizational changes here: a new business strategy or tool, a reorganization, doing more with less. We are all impacted by changes at work in many different ways. Looking at the difference between change and transition, change is situational. We're all probably right in the middle of some sort of change that we just saw on the previous slide. You might have a new boss, you might be saying goodbye to a favorite coworker in the upcoming weeks, or navigating a new working tool, one of those AI tools we've been talking about a lot in 2025. Transition is the psychological process we go through externally to come to terms with said change. To think about this in a different way, we have this diagram, two overlapping models represented. We have William Bridges' stages of transition, the endings, neutral zone, and new beginnings, and then Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's grief process that people go through when experiencing a significant loss. Shock, denial, resistance, detachment, exploration, acceptance, and commitment. This has been adapted to help explain the process that people go through when experiencing a significant change, and is a popular way of describing this change journey. Even at work, everybody goes through some version of this change curve. The shape of the curve will vary for different people. Some people have a shorter curve, some have a shallower curve. Some may even cycle back through various feelings before moving forward. They might start to explore, run into something new, and then go back to that denial or that resistance to the change. When we go through change, we have to double down on our humanness. We have to help each other through these dips and curves so that we do not get stuck in that neutral zone pit of despair between detachment and exploration. Sometimes during change, we do not allow each other to be human. We need to give each other space to fail. We need to provide people an opportunity to shift into a growth mindset. Together, we can accomplish great things, but we need to support each other to do so. And I think this Brene Brown quote captures that perfectly. Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. It's okay if you struggle. Talk about it. Be there for each other. Building up your resilience allows you to unlock the potential of a true growth mindset and begin to embrace future changes. Like the saying goes, sometimes you can't see the forest among the trees. In other words, the path is not always clear. If you know and understand that some things will not go 100% to plan, it helps you be able to bounce back more efficiently and effectively during the times when you start to fall off track. Now, how can you start to do this? What can help you think differently and change your mindset? Think about the impact of stress on your performance. Your stress level has a direct impact on your energy and motivation to perform on the job. Too much stress, everything seems like a diving catch or a scramble to get a project across the finish line. Too little stress, things get too easy. You get bored. You might look for a new task or even a whole new job to fill that void with. It's important to maintain a good amount of stress or eustress. Just the right amount of pressure puts our performance level in that stretch zone where you can really start to thrive. But a warning, don't try and do it all at once. You can't boil the ocean, right? AI has been the hot topic of 2025. It can enhance your workload a great deal, but with more work comes more pressure or more stress. With that said, think about your most frequent stress offenders when it comes to change. What gets you most bent out of shape? Control what you can control. Do your best to take the new change one step at a time. Shift out of that pit of despair in a timely manner. Seek to understand what your team needs to run into the exploration stage as quickly as possible. Susan Bridges, the wife of the late William Bridges, who wrote the book Transition, has a great quote here. The essence of life takes place in the neutral zone phase of transition. It is in that interim spaciousness that all possibilities, creativity, and innovative ideas can come to life and flourish. Do your best to embrace the eustress and embrace the new changes on the horizon. Before I pass the mic, I want you to look back on your 2025 so far. What's been a struggle for you? What transitions could you make in 2026 to tap even further into your potential? In even simpler words, how will you grow in 2026? Thank you all for your time. I appreciate y'all today.
Thank you, George. Amazing. Okay, now every once in a while when we don't have the presentation, I see everyone and it's super exciting. Okay, we have 2 more speakers to go, and we're now going to move on to the energy, positivity center of the universe, Melinda Stallings, an award-winning keynote speaker, executive coach, organizational effectiveness psychologist, has over 25 years of experience helping leaders transform how they show up for themselves, for their teams, and for their organizations. She's spoken on some of the most iconic stages in the world, partnered with Fortune 20 companies, global enterprise, and emerging startups to really build a sustainable leadership, positive conflict culture, and high impact talent development. She's currently the founding owner of the Positive Consult, and again, one of the gems of Austin. I'm going to share my screen so everyone can see your presentation, and you can take it away, Melinda. Sorry. Escape. Okay. Yes. And here we go.
Thank you, Khalil. It's great to be here with you all today. You know, we talk so much about AI capability, but AI does not transform organizations. Humans do. Culture does. Leadership does. And right now, with 95% of AI implementations failing, many organizations are discovering a painful and costly truth. You cannot scale technology on top of an unprepared people system. Organizations need a human foundation, a values-based foundation, a human-centered capability foundation. It's not AI that's failing, it's our human readiness for AI. I have a friend who works for a global organization, and they recently spent millions on a new AI system. Brilliant tech, smart strategy, huge promise, but the people weren't prepared. Employees didn't understand why. Managers weren't equipped to lead the change. Teams weren't aligned. There were no shared expectations. And certainly there was no psychological safety to say, I don't get this, or this doesn't make sense. It doesn't work for me. So momentum collapsed. Not because the AI failed necessarily, because the human foundation wasn't lifted. When the company shifted focus, preparing people, aligning culture and communication, lifting that human capability, and multiplying momentum through leadership modeling, everything changed. The technology stayed the same, but people made it work. This conversation and many others I've had like it since I've been asked to be presenting here today led me on a quest to discover the human-centered aspect of AI success and to develop something that I'm unveiling for the first time today. So thank you for allowing me to do this with you all. It is the Palm Foundation. The Palm Foundation identifies the 4 foundational pillars every organization must build if they want humans and AI to rise together. This is not a framework that sits on the surface. This is an underlying structure, the bedrock of human capability in an AI-intense world. Each pillar is essential. Each pillar is human-centered, with an established group of humans to give agency to the task to be performed within each pillar. Each pillar
Linda, do you want
fortifies
me
the
to
next.
click? Sorry, do you want me to move to the next slide?
Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Prepare, align, lift, and multiply. Palm. Together, they form the human capability foundation, which all AI potential depends. So P is for prepare, and this is where we bring in the translators. Prepare people with clarity, communication, and purpose. Give them direction, meaning, and safety in the unknown. Prepared people don't fear the future, they accelerate it. A is for align, and that's where we bring in the balancers. These people align culture, values, ethics, and expectations. Create the emotional and ethical architecture for the transformation that we will be undergoing as an organization. And alignment is what makes change feel human instead of threatening. L is for lift, and this is where the builders come in. The builders lift human capability. Communication, EQ, critical thinking, adaptability, conflict, resilience, all of those soft skills that are the hard stuff. Because when you lift human capability, technology rises with it. And M is for multiply, and that's where the amplifiers come in. They multiply the behaviors that you want to see. Leaders model, teams reinforce, micro learning spreads, culture becomes consistent, momentum builds. And what you multiply becomes your culture, and your culture determines your future. The quality of the questions we ask determines the quality of the answers we receive. And in this case, what AI produces for us. Together, palm to palm, humans and AI can rise higher than either could alone. The Palm Foundation provides that path. Journey has amazing AI capabilities to enhance your L&D initiatives. Do you have the people foundation necessary to guide them to creating successfully with you the first time and every time thereafter? If you're interested in seeing where your capability index lands, connect with me on LinkedIn or shoot me a note in the Q&A, and I'll send you the PCI, the Palm Capability Index, to assess your strengths and weaknesses in each of the pillars. Thanks so much for your time today, Juno Journey and all. Thank you so much for allowing me to serve greatly.
That is super generous of you. Thank you so much, Melinda. This was great. And again, right on time. Listen, guys, this is amazing. And we're actually now getting ready for our very last speaker, but not least, that's for sure. That's Matt. Again, me and my...
I have the deck here. Do you want me to just share and drive over here?
I do. I love your voice also. It's amazing. And I will also introduce you, Matt, in just 2 sentences. So, the amazing Matt Donner, a strategic learning and development partner at Credit Karma, with over 20 years of hands-on experience designing scalable programs that accelerate AI adoption and technology enablement across enterprises. Matt excels at blending storytelling, experimentation, and immediate application to drive measurable workforce upskilling. And without further ado, please do share your screen, and thank you so much.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't want to steal everything you just said and change my LinkedIn profile. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Happy to be here and happy to share. Go figure. I'm the musician of the bunch. I'm going a little off script. And we only have a couple of minutes left. So honestly, the best thing that I think that I can do for everybody here is I share my screen and get onto my deck here. This is what I took away from today. And it actually ties into what I wanted to share with everybody, which is a concept of 3 roads, 2 bridges. But just take a moment, and these are the big takeaways. Okay, Juno, first of all, very excited to see what the 4Js can do. That's kind of key to what I see next year. Eric said, I don't know what we're good for if we aren't data-driven. Couldn't agree more. Ari said, reflecting is something AI can't do for we humans. Couldn't agree more. The biggest leadership breakthroughs happen between programs. Hannah. Not every employee needs the same AI skills. Ofer. AI is already doing the heavy lifting for L&D. Oh, I'd like to think that's true. I don't know that that's true everywhere. But learning as performance. Door. Transition is the psychological process we go through during change. George. And AI is not failing. Our preparedness for AI is failing. Melinda. Let me get out of this for a moment. My basic concept here is that we have 3 roads and 2 bridges. The 3 roads metaphor, you can take it and run with it in a million different directions. If I look at it at an L&D layer, the left path is doing everything we've been doing from Addie and Kirkpatrick and working with SMEs, and the long, slow, painful road to create courses that maybe get taken, maybe get adopted, maybe affect change, probably not. From the middle perspective, it's very structural, it's very stable, it leads to this big shining city, but cities are crowded, everybody else is there, everybody else is doing the same things. I think that in the AI spectrum, that's basically prompt design, some GPT building, and then of course the path on the right is rocky, it's uphill, it's steep, it goes into storms, there's just weird blue electricity in there. It's going to be a difficult road. I think we in L&D have to walk down all 3 roads. We have to understand all of the challenges in the simple, the crowded, and the technically complex. I myself am on road number 3. I'm in the middle of doing battle with 4 different Google apps that will not talk to each other. Yay, Google. Now, our learners have a similar 3 roads in front of them. The left road is they don't adopt AI. They continue to do things a long, slow way. And it kind of leads to this nice, soft, peaceful background out there, but nothing new, nothing adventurous. Our learners can do the middle road, which is to do basic AI adoption. Then they're in the 10% of the people who are adopting AI right now. But then our learners, we want them to eventually get to a point where they're all the way on the right. Now, our job in L&D is to build bridges between these 2 things. We have to find the strong points, build bridges, and help our learners move from one path to the next if they wish. Now, not all people will need to walk down all paths, but we kind of have to. And I really think that where we're going to go here, and our biggest problem is development versus deadlines. I think that's one of our biggest challenges of all, getting people to put in the time. And so I'm proposing, as I skip through here in the interest of time, a combination. This is early 2026. AI plus HI with human in the loop. that we can leverage AI to help us build courses. We can build knowledge lakes, and we can build RAG systems, and we can build systems to help people find information that's grounded and accurate and appropriate, and we can have some people in the loop. But I think the later in 2026, although the 4Js of the new Juno tool might actually bring this a little sooner, is that what we can do on the third road is build AI-based, prompt-based learning experiences where you can interact with AI. It can be a sounding board, and not via text. I mean via live audio, live video, highly responsive. And then our job in L&D moves from course design and facilitation to rubric design and system architecture, which means we might all need to get a little bit of code under our belts. That might not be terribly exciting for some folks here. The good news is that AI can do a lot of this for us. So I think it's really about using the tool to build the tools. I'm going to pause here in the interest of time because I think we've run a little bit over, and I'm sure Cleo's going to yell at me any second now. But I just wanted to summarize everything that everybody had said here today. There were some excellent comments, and I want to just reflect that. I do think that my personal views match almost all of everyone else's. It's a big old complicated world. I'm extremely excited for the promise of what AI can enable us to build for ourselves and for our learners. And I think I'll put a pin in it there. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. This was incredible. I really want to have a full session for each one of you. Maybe we will. And yes, a lot of round of applause. Thank you for the extra 4 minutes, everyone who stayed. I think it was worth it. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry we don't have time for the live questions, but I did collect everything from the chat and the QA, and we'll work on those answers. If anything comes up to you, if you want to ask one of our speakers anything else, please, you can connect with them on LinkedIn, but also you can share it with me and I'll make sure you get your answer. This was incredibly interesting and insightful. I will share recording, decks that were presented, article, like everything, you'll get it. So don't worry. We would love to get feedback and anything else you need. I want to really, really thank the amazing people who spoke here today that really made a lot of effort to do it. Eric, Ari, Matt, George, Hannah, Ofer, Dor, Melinda, probably I'm forgetting someone. George, I hope I said everyone. Really thank you each. And Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, everything in between. Have a wonderful end of the year. We'll see you 2026. Bye, everyone.